Hey, Barry here from Over 50 Golf. I just want to come on here today and talk about a backswing issue I see a lot of golfers have problems with, especially as they get older, and that's the short, flat backswing. It goes back very short and around, gets trapped in behind them, and the swing starts to get shorter, and then that causes a whole host of problems on the forward. The golfer hits the ball. So I'll just demonstrate that for you, and then I'm going to give you a couple simple, easy fixes that you can use to help straighten out that backswing and make it a little bit easier to swing through the golf ball. So what I see a lot of golfers do, they're taking that club back. It goes back very short and around. The club doesn't get raised up very much. Club gets in behind their hip. Looks something like this on the backswing. It's almost, there's no real turn to it. It's just a very, very shallow swing. And some of that, you get older, right? You get more aches and pains, and it feels a little bit harder to turn. And then it becomes a habit of just shutting down the backswing. And then that makes it harder to go through the golf ball. And what happens on the forward swing then with that golfer? They make this short swing, and the club almost gets trapped in here behind them. And then to go forward, they're going to lunge at it, where your upper body starts to lunge forward. And it looks something like this when the golfer hits the ball. The upper body's turning more than the lower body through the golf swing, simply because of that backswing position, that short, flat backswing. And then maybe your friends say, hey, oh, you're not turning enough on the backswing. And the golfer keeps turning even more, and it just gets flatter and flatter, and they keep losing more distance, and it becomes a lot more difficult to hit the golf ball. And it kind of becomes that nasty chain of events where it just keeps degrading and getting worse. So I'll show you a couple fixes to help you with that. And I'm not talking about, too, when you're changing the backswing, about swinging back farther and longer. We don't have to make a big full backswing if we go back properly. We don't have to swing beyond the limits of our flexibility, but we can make a little bit better turn, which will make it easier to unwind through the golf ball. So first thing on the backswing here, what we want, when that club goes back, if I take it back in here, I can't turn anymore. And if I keep turning, it just keeps getting flatter, and it's that very, very shallow, flat shoulder plane, and then the club comes out like that. It's really, really difficult. What we want as that club swings back, we want a nice hinging of the hand. So as that lead arm comes up across your body, the wrists hinge, and that shaft starts to become a lot more vertical through here rather than back in through here. And then when I can do that, it's a lot easier to make a good rotation going back, and I don't have to make a big full swing. If I get those hands setting early as the club comes up, I'm going to be able, it's much easier to make a good shoulder rotation and a good rotation of the rib cage, and make a good backswing pivot to get my weight back into my trail side. And then it's a lot easier to unwind through the golf ball to, hit a good solid golf shot with some reasonable distance. So to help feel that, I want to do a split grip drill where I leave my top hand in its normal position here, and I'm going to put the bottom hand below the end of the grip here. And the idea behind that, when I swing back, the hands will hinge a lot more freely. So you'll feel that hinge a little bit earlier as you take that club back. And you can see now the shaft is a lot more vertical, swinging back. And now it's a lot easier to make a good rotation. You can see where the club is, and then back through the golf ball. And I don't have to force my upper body turn. You don't have to wrap yourself around like that. You're not a PGA Tour player. You don't have to do that. As long as we make a reasonable rotation, get the trunk turned, you're going to load up well into your trail side. You'll be able to move effectively through the golf ball. So it's not about talking about swinging back longer. It's just getting the club up in a little bit better position so you can turn a little bit more effectively. So again here, so that really gives you that nice feel for that hinging action rather than trapping that club back in here. It comes up here like that. And then another good drill to help you loosen up a little bit more and feel that, through your rib cage and get your upper body opening up. I'm going to spread my hands apart even more. Top hand still in the same position. My trail hand is down a lot lower, a lot closer to the club head. You can use an iron or a wood. It doesn't matter. You don't need a lot of room for this. And then I'm just going to make a turn going back. And the whole idea, by separating the hands here on the shaft, when I rotate back, this trail arm is going to move away from you, and it's going to move up. It's harder to do this business here where you pull it in behind you. It's a lot easier to feel that motion going back up like that. And you can just see that shape there where the trail arm comes away from me and the club comes up a little bit more vertical. Doesn't have to go back longer. It's just coming up a little bit more vertical, which makes it easier to load and rotate the upper body on the backswing. And then that makes it a lot easier to swing through the ball and get some good rotation and have a good through swing with some speed. And you'll be more consistent because the path of the swing is going to be a lot more up and down rather than this sideways action like that. So give those a try. Help you with the feel for that backswing being a little bit more upright rather than trapped behind you. And I think you'll find that you'll like the results when you're coming through the golf ball. Maybe just like that. See you again. If there's anything you want to see in golf lesson wise, throw it in the comments below. I'll be happy to deal with it in our teaching series. Let's keep going out and play some golf and have some fun. Barry from Over 50 Golf. We'll see you again.